Hi, friends. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate, the channel that talks about critical thinking and girl world. All the opinions made in these videos are my own personal opinions and not facts. And I would like to thank everybody who's subscribed and watched my videos. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Please consider it. I would love to have you on my channel. I'd really appreciate any support from anybody, and feel free to comment on my videos. I'd love to hear your views and opinions of the whole situation in Girl World and with Amberlynn Reid. That would be absolutely amazing. So yeah, let's begin. The first thing we're going to talk about is Hecticana. So he's just made a comeback into Girl World, talking about an Amberlynn Reid video, the one where she talks about unaliving herself. He did a reaction to that video, and there was one part of it where Amberlynn Reid says mental health should be talked about more and not left, like people not left in the dark. And Hecticana, yes, said, mental health should be talked about a lot more. But it seemed so disingenuous, him saying that, especially after all the situations that he mentioned about, like the essay of the DoorDash girl. And yeah, he's saying like people can't help feeling like the way they do, etc. But he can have an opinion on somebody's like SA experiences, and very horrible and harmful opinions at that. It's just like that doesn't seem right. It seems very disingenuous to me. And I just, watching him now, it feels icky. Like there's something very creepy about it after that video. Like my whole opinion on him has completely changed. But I'm definitely not the only one that feels that way. There were a couple of comments on his post that were saying like, has everybody just completely forgotten about what he did and what he said about an SA victim? Like it's completely wild. And then others are saying like, don't let all the haters get you down. Like, don't worry about all these creeps and weirdos, and people are so sensitive these days. It's like, yeah, people are sensitive about sexual assault because it is like a massive thing that happens to millions of women every single day. And it's just, yeah, men like Hecticana are part of the problem. And if he's not seeing that and his community isn't seeing that, then that's not really a community I can get behind. I don't really know how you will feel about that, but that's just how I'm feeling about him at the moment. I was watching the video and I just thought, ew, like ick, what a creep. It was just so weird. He also talked about Amber not addressing his community post, and he was saying how like she needs to address it for her members, etc. But again, Hecticana didn't address his community post either. So, why are you expecting somebody to do something that you wouldn't do yourself or won't do yourself? Just, you can't like redirect your problems onto somebody else, like distract everybody with something else. And that's the one thing they blame Amber for as well, is like deflecting her community posts, deflecting her videos, deflecting all these accusations and stuff, when he's doing exactly the same thing. So, I think you need to reevaluate your morals, to be honest, Hecticana. I think you have to sit down with yourself and just be like, why do I expect so much from this woman that I don't know when I can't even do the bare minimum myself? Like, that's just my opinion on the situation. The second thing we're going to talk about is that Snowflake has brought out a new video. I watched it earlier. And in the video, he was alluding to having a tell-all video coming out tomorrow about Amberlynn Reid and things going on in her personal life. He kept bringing up like random topics. Her hygiene came in it again. I honestly don't know what his thing about her hygiene is. That's so bizarre. Like that always, always found that bizarre. Like, out of all the things with Amber Lynn Reid that's going on, hygiene has always been Snowflake's go-to. Like, why? It's just, yeah, like, I don't think anybody really wants to know that much detail, but, you know, maybe people do. I don't know. I'm just hoping that he doesn't end up in the same category that Rachel and Hecticana got themselves into. Like, obviously, Rachel went way too far and got way too close to the situation. I really don't want Snowflake to get there. So let's hope that he doesn't do that. Some of his members are a bit weird. Like, there were some very peculiar comments going around. Like, someone called him daddy in one of the comments, which was a bit gross. I think there's a lot of, like, people, I don't know, like, why you would call him daddy. That's just, I mean, I'm not that person. Like, for your boots if that's what you like, but it just seemed a little bit inappropriate. I'm still glad that Hecticana is asking questions about Rarity, and I think we do need to get to the bottom of Rarity's whereabouts, what happened in that situation. I've said it before, Geordie has mentioned in one of his live streams that one of Emily's neighbours had contacted him with info about Rarity. He wasn't sure if it was legitimate or not, but if they are legitimate, then we might finally get to the bottom of it, and maybe they've reached out to Snowflake, and maybe he can actually shed some light on what happened and get to the bottom of what happened to that poor cat, because that out of all of the controversies and everything, that is the priority. What happened to that cat? And I really hope we get the truth soon. I think if anyone's going to get it, it's going to be Snowflake now, because a lot of the other channels have kind of cancelled themselves, really. And yeah, so let's wait and see what this tell-all is. That'll be super interesting to see. It'd be interesting as well to see whether, like, Amber actually has already told the truth about Rarity. Like, what if one of those three versions of events is actually the truth? Like, I kind of wonder if she's got to the point now where even if she told you the complete truth about everything, you'd think she was lying. Like, she is a pathological liar, I totally understand that, but, like, it's like the boy cried wolf situation, isn't it? Like, you know, have you lied so many times that even when you tell the truth, nobody believes you? And how does she change that? Like, I guess she'd have to have receipts for that, but with Rarity, how is she going to have receipts? And why wasn't Emily's camera working? That one specific time when Rarity got out, her cameras weren't working. That's still something that plays on my mind a lot. I'm no detective, but you know, like, that just seems bizarre. Like, there's a lot I don't trust about Emily. Like, I find Emily quite triggering, actually, like, in her own behaviours. The way, like, she went to all the reaction channels with all of Amber Lynn's receipts. And to be fair to Amber Lynn, she didn't say anything much about Tommy until she was pushed to it by all of these reaction channels because of Emily. And now the reaction channels have seen Emily for her true colours, apart from Rachel, apparently, who's still using her screenshots as receipts for stuff. Apparently, she's not learnt her lesson, but that's another story. I really hope we do finally get to the bottom of some of these accusations soon. And hopefully we can get Amber Lynn to address them. I mean, who knows? Like, if she's got no way to hide, then she may finally come out with the truth. So Amber Lynn Reid went on live again tonight. She wore a crown. It was called Queen Lynn. She wore a crown, and I watched that. That's why this video is a bit late. She was talking a lot about how, like, she wants to come online but like struggles with it, with all the negativity towards her, because it's not just negativity, it is just nastiness. Like, people are just nasty. Like, I think if you need to get your point across to somebody about how you're feeling about them or want them to address things, being nasty isn't the way to do it. You're basically going down to like their level. And I don't respect anybody who's just rude for no reason. If you want her to address something, like, do it like an adult. Don't just call her names in hoping that she's going to blurt out all of her secrets. I definitely wouldn't react to that at all. I'd be like, why are you speaking to me like that? If it was a person in my real life who was trying to, like, get a secret out of me or try and ask stuff about me, but were just, like, completely rude about everything about me, my body, my makeup, how I look, to try and get there, I'd just be like, I just, you can't block people in real life. I wish you could. Like, getting a big rubber and just rub them straight out of my life. But, that's her way of dealing with it. And, like, to be fair, she's got to answer for some of these accusations, but she doesn't have to answer to people just being flat out nasty and, like, bullying her. I don't think that's the right way to go about anything for anyone. Could you imagine if everyone in the world did that? That would just be rubbish. And if you think about it, if some of these people are coming from Hecticana's channel, the ones who are sticking up for him now after his whole video basically belittling a woman's SA experience, then these are the kind of people who are flooding Anne Boleyn's channel. Like, it's a weird place, and she seems to be setting boundaries, which is probably also good. And, like, she could genuinely be trying to get her mental health better, and that's why she isn't reacting or trying not to react to the nasty comments, or even just, like, blocking them out. And she even said in this video that she's, like, gonna, like, block anybody out who's just being nasty. Like, why? Yes, she has paying members and she comes on and she talks to them, but she doesn't have to put up with that. Like, you couldn't pay anyone enough money to put up with that. Like, nobody should have to put up with that. She has to address her audience, yeah, and she doesn't do things properly, and her members are being let down because of the lack of, like, vlogs, and the each live stream's like half an hour. I totally get it, and I get that they'd be angry about that, but then also she doesn't have to come on here and listen or watch people write things about her weight, or, like, when she thinks she's gonna die, or, like, like, anything to do with stuff like that. And actually, Snowflake brought up an interesting comment in the Halloween video. A lot of people were asking her what her favourite food was, what her favourite sweets were, what her favourite chocolate was, what kind of things she likes to eat, and this and that and the other. And I think, like, as my brain was clicking, I saw his clicking as well, that, like, maybe a lot of her members are actually feeders, and they actually want these answers for themselves, and they're giving her money to feed her, if that makes sense. I've not seen that on every single live stream, but this particular one, it all seemed to be people asking her about what her favourite food is, and very food discussion, and it just, yeah, it seems a bit weird. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that tonight. Thank you for listening to my ramblings again, if you have, and please consider liking and subscribing. I would really love to have you in my community. Please leave a comment on anything I've discussed and how you think and feel about these situations. I'd really love to hear your views on it, and I really hope you have a great evening or morning, depending where you are. Thank you very much again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.